So the score at the moment in the match is USA. Sorry, I guess I cut out when I was giving the score. The score is actually USA 2 88 and USA 1 60. So they have a 28 imp lead going into the set. And we're starting here in 3 diamonds with West making a balancing double. I definitely like his decision, both his decisions on the hand. First, not to make a takeout double of 1 spade, because he really has, though he has the correct shape for a takeout double, he doesn't really have the values. And then once it goes 2 spades, once they find a fit and it goes 2 spades pass, now he really does want to try to push them up to 3 spades. And North-South does not oblige, but he did find a good enough fit here in diamonds. So, Kit, what's your observation so far of the match? Why is USA 2 in the lead by 28 imps? Well, I'm not really sure where to produce a little one-man show for a while. I thought about doing Broadway at some point in my life, but this was not what I had in mind. So, I mean, in my opinion, USA 2 has just been more on the money. They've made a lot of good decisions, high-level decisions, and everything. They had a little 3-board stretch in the first set where they struggled. They lost a couple swings, one by getting to a very aggressive slam, and they exchanged some which game is the right game to play swings, where one table played 3-no trump when you're supposed to play 4 of a major, and one table played 4 of a major when you're supposed to play 3-no trump, and that happened 3 or 4 times so far this match. It's really been the theme of the match. And otherwise, USA 2 has seemed to really be playing, as good as they can. Both teams have been playing very well, and this has been a good exhibition so far of how both these teams play, though the scores, the swings have been a little strange, but that there have been some very, very, very swingy boards. So here on the second board, it looks like, as you can see, John Hurd, this would be a normal opening bid for most people. Even I know that they teach 12 or more for an opening bid, or 13 or more for an opening bid, but when you have Ace King Ace, it really depends a lot on how your Ace King Ace is laid out and whether you're vulnerable or not. But when you have Ace King Fifth, you really, that suit is worth a lot more than if you had the same hand with, say, Ace King Doubleton of spades and Ace and 1 heart and 4 little diamonds and 5 little clubs. The fact that your Ace King are in your 5-card suit adds so much strength to your hand that this is a very normal expert opening bid, especially non-vulnerable. Now, and John Hurd and Joel Wooldridge actually open hands that are far weaker than this one. So they're never going to get to too many pushy games in this situation. So the auction, when East-West plays support doubles, and East had not made a support double of 2 hearts, so double by East at his second call would have said, I have 3-card support. Now, when West balanced with double, they're just saying, I need to keep the auction alive. I might have a hand that just wants to compete, but I also might have a hand that really wants to get to show my values and keep the auction alive. Now, this time, Joel has a 12-point hand, but as we discussed in the second set, 12 points for Johnny and Joel for East-West really is only an invitational hand. And as you see here, his 3-spade bid was just an invitational bid. And so and John, recognizing the strength of his aces and kings, even though he has 11 points, he really felt like his hand was worth a game bid. Now, it turns out that it looks like game is very good, and because if West ducks this trick, then South is not going to have any way to get in to play diamonds through. So I would take it to the bank that West is going to duck this trick, and then hopefully just he's going to smooth sail to making his contract, as South has no entry, even in the 5-2 fit. And now we welcome Mike Camel, who's a member of Team USA 1. Mike, congratulations for starters on winning the Vanderbilt this year, and good luck in towards the Bermuda Bowl. How's it going? You have to hit the space bar to speak. And everybody remember that you have to enable each commentator. You hit the little play sign next to their names, but I don't believe that Michael has figured out how to speak yet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we got you, sir. How's it going?
Okay, do I have to hold the space bar?
Yeah, you hold it while you're speaking so that when you're not speaking, we don't get background noise.
Excellent. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you very much for your congratulations. It's very exciting to me. Hopefully we'll do a little better than we did against these fellows. They were quite tough in the second segment here. They seemed to do everything right, and we didn't do much right.
Yeah, it also was a little very fast fire, boom, 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 boom. Everything seemed to happen extremely quickly.
Yes, and we had some big decisions, I think, at both tables that we didn't quite get right, and our opponents did. They played very well. So looks like he made 450 on this board.
He did. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't duck the heart at trick 1. I'm not sure if he felt like it was gonna. I guess the problem with ducking a heart, I guess I was looking at all 4 hands now that I see it, is that obviously if diamonds were 3-3, then it would be foolish to duck the heart, as ducking the heart would let them knock the king of diamonds out before they got their ace of spades. So forget my analysis. That happens when you look at a hand and you're looking at all 4 hands. It's easy to see, to think you see something and not. And I think that he won the ace of hearts, which put North in a difficult position where he could have underled the heart to his partner when he got in with the ace of spades to get a diamond through, but he did not.
Right, which would have been, it was a very tough play, yes. Looks like the other table's defending 4 hearts doubled on that board, which I think will go down 1 if I've calculated correctly.
Can you guys hear me now, please?
Now we can. This moment we can hear you. So this is a good example. You know, when you consider East-West to be a very, very aggressive pair, and there's sometimes where even aggressive pairs, just because you've got this tag on your head that says you're aggressive, there's certain situations where they're always going to have their bid. And this one, I actually think that even though West has 10 points, he's actually on the weaker end for two hearts. I'm not sure if I would have done the same thing because his two quality is so bad.
I agree with you. It's not exactly a typical weak two-bit in hearts. Rather have, right, as you say, better suit quality and at this vulnerability.
I'm getting a lot of people saying that they can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I hear you going in and out. Of course, I don't know if anyone can hear me either.
Yeah, you're coming out loud and clear, but I'm getting a lot of people complaining that my volume is fluctuating, but I think it has to do with the internet, not with, I'm not exactly pacing around my computer as I speak.
Gotcha. Well, he's going to make this one way or another. He may be uncomfortable along the way, but with hearts 3-2, this will not be a problem.
Why would he ever be uncomfortable? Can't he just cash queen of hearts, play a diamond to the ace, draw trumps, and oh, I'm sorry, that's too many tricks for him. Deep defense. Never mind.
He can play to rough a diamond. He could give up a club. Either way, it will amount to at least 10 tricks, and possibly 11. If he played all out without fear, he could play a diamond to the ace, the queen of clubs, come back to his hand with a club rough a diamond. He could actually, well, he might even get uppercut at the end, but it's closer to making 5 than going down for sure.
Okay, actually, I mean, I think Kit was right when he said that Declare, as far as making his contract, can just play the queen of hearts, come back to the ace of diamonds, and finish drawing trumps. Sell the opponents the king of clubs, whether it's onside or offside, and then he'll just lose one club, one diamond, and the diamond that he's already lost.
Right. It's a matter of counting winners. 6 heart tricks, 2 club tricks.
You're absolutely right.
1
yes.
spade and 1 diamond is 10.
You're absolutely right, Kit. That's the obvious way to play it. I didn't actually have your speaking part on. Now I do. Hi, Kit.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Going fine. Going fine. Don't like getting beaten up so badly in that last segment, but otherwise all is good.
And for those of you who might be having the same problem that Mike Camel just had, was you actually have to hit the play button next to each of the commentators in order for you to be able to hear each of the commentators. And that way, if one of us is getting annoying or you stop agreeing with what we say, then you can just hit the stop button and we don't have to listen to us anymore.
Oh, that's great. I had no idea. Let me turn you off, Gavin. Hang on 1 second.
Just so you know, I'll get revenge next time I see you. I'll make up for it.
I'm sure you will.
And now, with the 10-9 of clubs coming down, Declare's 7 of clubs will score in the end, and he'll make an over trick.
And it's good form for Declare. Even if, see, a lot of people say, I don't know how to squeeze. I don't know. I've never read a book on squeezes. I don't know how to squeeze. Well, even if you don't know how to squeeze, in a situation like this, where eventually you're going to see if your 7 of clubs is good, it's a good idea just to run all your trumps. There's nothing bad can happen, and even if you can't visualize the squeeze, by the time you've cashed your last heart, you really, either one of your cards will be good, or you'll go to your club and maybe your 7 of clubs will be good, but nothing bad can happen to you. So here, South has shown hand better than a 1-heart bid. His response to the takeout double was a forced bid. He had to choose a suit. So 1 heart could be anything from a minimum. Jumping to 2 hearts shows, exactly the values he has, around 10 points, and usually 5 hearts, sometimes 4, as you can see. And now Levin knew he wanted to go to game, but he didn't know for sure if they had an 8-card heart fit. So he bid 3 clubs to say, I have a forcing hand, but I don't have a heart fit. And Steve said, okay, well, I want to play 3 no trump.
And that was a good auction. Shows you, when you have a good pair there, they don't make the mistake of landing in their 4-3 hard fit or any of that. They're very careful about their constructive bidding to get to the right game.
Now here, I think Wooldridge should stay away from a club lead. The key was his partner did not double 3 clubs, and if his partner had a club honor, his partner definitely should have doubled. So I think he should lead something else.
Well, it looks like he tried to pin the queen. Hopefully, perhaps he was thinking he'd catch a stiff queen on his left, and he was close. He was close. So it was not an unreasonable attempt on his part.
Well, there's one really important part to think about when it's in an opening lead in a spot like this. West has an opening bid. He's got 12 points, and the opponents have just bid a vulnerable game of 3 no trumps. So it looks like North-South has the balance of the points, and the most he can really expect his partner to have was 2 points or so, 3 points. And so looking at his hand, it looks like there's very little chance of him beating the contract unless his partner has the queen of clubs or he can knock out the queen of clubs. And it doesn't really look like it's going to cost him anything to lead the king of clubs.
But it might. For example, suppose his partner's queen is the queen of hearts. I think he should lead a high heart, since it's easier to defend when you can see 26 cards rather than 13, and the tempo does not figure to matter.
Can you describe a situation when leading the king of clubs would turn into a disaster for East-West?
Sure. Give East the queen of hearts and make the club lead that declares 9th trick. When partner could get in with the queen of hearts and lead a club through, then declare only has 8 tricks.
Okay, so you aren't describing the difference between leading the king of clubs or leading the jack of clubs. You're talking about leading a club at all versus...
Right. I said I don't think he should lead a club at all because his partner didn't double 3 clubs.
So you would lead a high heart, or would you just lead something else? A spade,
I would
perhaps.
lead a high heart. I can visualize a way to beat the contract by taking 4 heart tricks and a club trick, and a partner has the queen of hearts. And if dummy has the stiff queen of clubs, I still have time to shift to the king of clubs.
And now North has 19 points, which with 19 points in a balanced hand, we open a minor, our best minor, or in this case when we were 3-3, we open a club, and we plan on jump rebidding 2 no trump. But an East overcall is a very modern style. I think it's a very good overcall, non-vulnerable when you have a suit quality this good. Even without the Queen of Clubs, in my opinion, it's still an overcall, and I for sure know that John Hurd would overcall. That getting a suit in that's that good.
Notice many people would make a negative double on Steve's hand, but in their style, they do not one one-suited negative doubles. Here he bids 3 hearts to show a weak jump shift in hearts.
A sort of surprising development for North, that his partner has a weak jump shift in hearts. He actually might have just bid 3 no trump right then and there.
I agree. I think North should bid 3 no trump. He can count 9 tricks, whereas 4 hearts might not make.
Absolutely. I mean, he was worried about missing slam, but I mean, I think that's a bit of a stretch if partner really has a weak jump shift.
Well, probably he doesn't think that his partner has only a 6-card heart suit, considering his heart holding. And if his partner has 7 hearts, 4 hearts is safe, and 6 hearts, well, it could make on a good day, but it would have to be a pretty good day.
You'd probably have to catch partner with maybe King Jack 7th of hearts and Queen 4th of clubs or something like that. Even, I mean, I guess Queen 4th of diamonds, some hand like that, to give you a good or decent play for 6 hearts.
Well, certainly in his defense, if Steve's 5 of spades were the 5 of diamonds, then slam would be pretty good.
You're right about that. Yes,
Or even if it were the 5 of hearts, which is more likely, really.
Yes, he needed partner to be 7-4-1-1 was the most likely way to get to find their way to a making slam.
And his partner is allowed to look at his hand, so unless he thinks there's a real risk that 4 hearts isn't going to make and 3 no does, then I guess his bid's pretty reasonable.
Now you
So
see that.
Yeah.
Sorry, just South Steve. He had shown a weak jump shift, and his partner made a slam try with 3 spades, and he had to decide what to cube it. And you see here that he actually decided to fake a cube it in diamonds rather than show his singleton club in partner suit, because South knows that on a big chunk of North slam tries are unbalanced hands, that he's not really expecting his partner to have a balanced hand for 3 spades. So he's really, he knows that a singleton club is not nearly as important to his partner as the king.
Hold it, Gavin. Why is 3 spades a slam try? Couldn't it be a probe for 3 no trump? We know
maybe that's a good point. You make a very, very good point. But then, so 4 diamonds was a natural bid.
Yeah, 4 diamonds is just a description of Steve's hand. That's all.
Yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. 3 spades initially was just looking for game, and maybe 3 no trump was the best game, and that might have been why Levin bid 3 spades. In fact, he might not have been thinking about slam. He might have wanted partner to bid 3 no trump when they have a spade, some business in spades, like the queen of spades, and he was thinking partner might have Jack 10 9 6 of hearts, and maybe in that case then 4 hearts would be a better contrast.
No, I think he was thinking of slam. I think what he was hoping for was that partner would bid 4 clubs, and now he could bid 4 diamonds when that would be an unambiguous slam try.
Well, this
But
is not the best defense, but this is the kind of hand where you really want to make your weakest defense, a hand that really doesn't matter very much at all.
by the way, one hand for slam on the last hand, just to say is he also could have bought a club fit. There were a lot more hands with club fits that slam would be good. All he needed for slam to be good with when partner has clubs is king seventh of hearts and 4 little clubs.
On the defense, keep in mind, it wasn't a weak defense. He's trying to beat the contract. He's trying to beat 4. He's not trying to hold an over tricks. And for that, the diamond shift might have been necessary.
Okay, so this is a good situation to talk about the balancing chair, the balancing 1-no trump versus balancing 2-no trump versus balancing double. Now, in this situation, when they bid 1 spade, it's my opinion that since you don't have any room to double and bid 1-no trump, this situation, a balancing 1-no trump, is quite a bit stronger than had it gone 1 club past 1-no trump. And a lot of players have this misunderstanding or never really learn that 1 something past 2-no trump, a balancing jump to 2-no trump, is actually a strong, natural, balanced hand. And you see it all the time at the bridge club or in bridge tournaments where one partner thinks it shows the minors and the other partner thinks it's strong. But it would show, I guess, given Levin's range points for double, jumping to 2-no trump would show something like 19 to 21, 19 to 20, and doubling and bidding no trump shows something like 17 to 18.
Look at the position Steve took, passing the takeout double, by the way. That was very interesting decision.
Yes, that was very interesting. I guess he didn't like his choice of bids in any case, and he knows these fellows often open light. I think he just went for it, and not an unreasonable position at the vulnerability, and we are losing the match here by 30 some odd imps. Notice that Bobby, rather than get involved with, perhaps trying to get a penalty against 2 hearts, knew he was shy a heart and took the simple way out and just bid the game he knew he was likely to make.
Well, also remember, Bobby has too many spades. He thinks his partner has 5, which means he thinks DeClara has 0, which hurts the defense against 2 hearts a lot.
These are not the boards needed to pick up 30 some odd imps.
Notice how Joel gets punished by an over trick for his carelessness of not putting up a higher club, allowing Levin to duck the club into the safe hand.
Yes, good point.
I expect Joel to open 1-no trump with the West hand. They play 14 to 16, maybe 15 to 17 vulnerable, but they're usually 14 to 16. And they have an uncomfortable situation after opening a heart. If partner bids 1-no trump, they're unhappy about the situation. And given their opening bid style, he's sort of forced there. So they play 14 to 16 anyway, so that was normal. But I wouldn't have been surprised if he opened 1-no trump if it was a 14 to 17 seat with their style.
Now the question is whether Joel and John can actually stop at a makeable spot here. And it doesn't look like they can. I mean, perhaps 2-no trump or something, but that's about it. Even that I don't believe would make.
The real problem is that the left hand with its acelessnesses just isn't good for no trump. It takes too long to set up tricks.
I think they're headed to 3-no trump here, is my guess.
Well, yeah, once he opened a no trump, they're always headed to 3-no trump. What else can East do? I think his sequence 2-no followed by 3-no shows the spade stopper as they play.
Yes, that feels right.
Right. Right. They're playing a convention called Levensaw, which some of you may or may not know. It's a convention used when the opponents intervene with you in your no trump auction to allow you to have more than one way of bidding each suit. So if you don't play a convention, then you could bid clubs, diamonds, hearts, or cupid spades. And if you bid hearts, you might have a weak hand with hearts, you might have an invitational hand with hearts, you might have a strong hand. So they invented this convention called Levensaw, which has been modernized a lot, and these guys, I'm sure, play a very modern version, where 2-no trump forces their partner to bid 3 clubs so that they can show a weak hand somewhere in a suit, or do a number of other things. As Kit said, they have 2 ways to bid 3-no trump, and this slow way shows a stopper in the opponent's suit. And that frees up the 3-level bids to show better hands.
Claire will now knock out the ace of diamonds, and if Levin continues with ace and a spade, which he might, I think Claire can make it double dummy by engineering an end play on south.
Yeah, I think you're right. An end play, it's like a squeeze end play out of the 9 of hearts or something. This will be a great hand if he can do it.
And just to say, Steve's card at trick 1, it didn't matter which card he played from giving him any information about his attitude on the trick. So he was just gonna play the card that was correct count unless it was some other situation. It's very normal for pairs to give their partner count in this situation when they can't beat dummy's card, or in this case, they know declarer's got the king or ace of spades. So his high spade, they play standard count, would be a doubleton, would show a doubleton spade.
However, my guess is Levin will shift to a heart. Yes, he did, and that
which he did.
Really destroys declarer.
Yeah, I don't even know how he's going to go about this. I think, well, there's nothing he can do. I feel certain there's nothing he can do.
Well, he'll win the ace of hearts, unblock the diamonds, and lead a spade. And if Levin makes the mistake of continuing spades, then we get to the position we're talking about, but Levin isn't going to make that mistake.
Considering that dummy will be entryless at that point, I don't think he'll do that. And no doubt Steve will have a chance to signal strongly for clubs, so assuming they're playing upside down, he'll play the 2 of clubs as soon as he can.
Okay, and the defense also play a signaling method called Smith. And what that is a way for north-south to tell each other whether they like the opening lead. And so at trick 2, when Joel West played the king of diamonds out of his hand, whether each of north-south play low-high or high-low with their irrelevant diamond spots actually conveys a signal to their partner whether they want partner to continue playing spades. So for sure, South hated the spade lead, and he really wants a club shift. So I'm not sure if it's if his cards low high said I don't like spades, or if because the spade attitude was obvious from trick one, perhaps South was saying please play clubs, or I prefer clubs. And North was saying low, I don't like, I played the three of diamonds to say I don't like spades. I don't need a spade play.
Well, there's no way North's going to shift to a club looking at that club holding and dummy regardless of what South signals. Actually, this is very difficult for Declarer because even with the hearts 3-3, he can't untangle 9 tricks at this point.
I think actually West might have done better on the second round of diamonds to play the jack rather than the queen. Make it give the perception that he has king jack 10, and perhaps North wouldn't have had as easy a time winning the ace at the second trick.
Yes, that's a good point. When you want the opponents to duck, you don't play your highest card.
But a lot of people with that mentality, even if you take what Kit just said about you don't play your highest card if you want them to duck, the key trick that West wanted them to duck diamonds was not the first trick. The first duck was irrelevant to them. They needed a duck on the second round. So if you play the jack the first time, you're most likely to get a duck from North's ace, but it's going to make it completely obvious that you have the king queen jack after South doesn't win the trick. Leading the king first doesn't give North any information about South's holding, and on the key trick, the second trick, leading the jack makes North feel like maybe he has to duck the second round.
On the other hand, you don't really mind North taking the second trick. It was his damn heart shift that you minded.
Declarer knows there's almost no hope, no matter what happens from here. I mean, maybe if North had a stiff high club honor, he might be able to run hearts and then exit with a club.
Why no hope? Suppose the hearts are 3-3. I mean, then Declarer has 9 tricks, except Dummy's going to get squeezed is the problem.
Right. Well, that's why I was saying he might need North to have a stiff high club honor that they can't get out of his hand.
So, even assuming North has that high club honor, what can Declarer do now?
I see. He couldn't cash his hearts. He would squeeze the dummy. That's what you're saying.
Right.
Assuming hearts were 3-3. Yeah.
Right, and he now knows the hearts aren't 3-3 anyways, with North showing up with 4 diamonds, or he's pretty sure hearts aren't 3-3.
For sure. The other table played 1 no trump, by the way, from the east seat, and did make 3. So big swing for USA 1 on that one, and somewhat back in the match. I don't know the total score. The running score now, I think, is in the mid-20s.
This is a good, solid result for East-West. It looks like it's very likely to be the end game of East-West here. It'll be exactly. John Hurd has a normal 3-0 trumpet over 2 diamonds. No chance at slam. Good chance at 3-0. And North-South are going to have to cash the ace of spades. If he wins the king of diamonds, they're going to have to take the ace of spades, but I doubt he's going to win it. Oh, maybe he has to. Actually, he has to. Excuse me.
Of course, this diamond play is a little silly. He could just knock out the ace of spades, and he'd have 6 club tricks, 1 diamond is 7, 2 spades is 9, and 2 hearts is 11 off the top. I think the player just forgot to count his tricks.
It's getting late in the match, and he's no doubt played lots of boards here, John. And well, I guess we've all played the same amount of boards, but he's probably getting a little. I mean, it happens to us all. It gets late in the match, and things go quickly, and you don't exactly pay perfect attention to each card.
Especially on a hand that you know you can't go down.
Right, and it looks like this is a reflex play to lead the queen of diamonds.
Probably true. And as someone else pointed out to me, it is Sunday, and he might be watching football.
Might be. If there's a football game on, John Hurd is watching it.
I see. Okay, I didn't even know that. For the European segment, that's American football. That is not soccer. Incidentally,
so
I don't know.
What was your?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say. Okay, I was gonna say like, this year. I asked Bobby this earlier. It must have been a pretty cool feeling during the trials to know you were already in and be able to just sit back and watch the competition. Can you describe what it was like? Did you enjoy it? Did you spend a lot of time watching, or were you busy doing other stuff?
I actually spent a fair amount of time watching, and I think I was even commentating at some points. But it's a strange thing. I mean, I've never had this happen before, and I actually found myself sort of wishing I was playing. I was envious of the fact that they were playing. I know that seems a bit strange, but
it doesn't seem strange to me. Yeah, it doesn't seem strange to me at all. The USBF Trials is without a doubt the most fun event of the year to play. Playing those 120 board matches and that against good teams. I mean, there's really nothing like it in the rest of the calendar.
I agree with you, and it's something. Obviously, I enjoyed it the year before because of the result, but it's really, as you say, Gavin, it's a great event in any case, and I did miss playing, but I did enjoy watching. And this team that we're playing against now played exceptionally well against very strong opponents, and they're just as good as anyone, young or not.
I totally agree. I'm shocked at reading around the internet how little credit everybody's giving them as a team that could win the event. I think they're without a doubt one of the favorites to win the event, and I think it's going to be so much fun to watch them out there. I actually don't think you guys obviously have a great team, but I don't think that there's anybody going to Veldhoven on more of a mission than those kids. They carry momentum as well as anybody in the world.
For sure, and they're a tough team to play against, as you can see here. I mean, they're aggressive bidders and good card players, and they're very tough. And but incidentally, it's interesting to note that our first match, we played 21 matches, 3 matches a day, against. It's a complete round robin against every other team in the event, and our first match, as it should be, is against this team. That's on day 1 of the Bermuda Bowl.
Absolutely, it should be. There's nothing nothing more important than scheduling teams who know each other, who are friendly, who could potentially be brothers and or sisters or family or close friends, to play in early matches of big events.
Yes, and in fact, after that, we can each root for each other, or at least I hope they're rooting for us. I'm rooting for them. So there.
And I believe that the rules of the event, at least in the past, it's been that if both American teams qualify for the medal rounds, that's the semifinals, that you must meet each other in the semifinals. I don't know if that is still the case.
Yes, I know it's always been that way. I assume it still is, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, Kevin.
So maybe in about a month or a month and a half, we'll all be back here watching you guys duke it out with a little bit more at stake than just the $2,000 that will go to the charity of the winning team's choice.
Right. That would certainly be fun. But I know who I'm rooting for. Should we play each other in the semifinal?
Meanwhile, this hand is a tough competitive hand. Hurd was rather surprised by his partner's overcall and decided to compete up to 5 hearts, which turns out is a bit too high to compete.
Yes, this looks like it'll go for 500, and I'm not sure what the score was. At the other table, they made 450, so assuming nothing strange happens from here, it's going to be 2 more imps to USA 1.
Note Steve's decision to double 5 hearts despite holding a heart void showed a very good judgment, in my opinion.
What do you think his double conveys, myself? I think they're going down in 5 hearts.
Well, yeah. What else? His partner described his hand, and he just says, "I want to defend 5 hearts rather than play 5 spades."
And it doesn't have anything to do with stopping partner.
Kit, would you? Sorry.
Go ahead, Mike.
Would you have bid something else over 3 spades with Steve's hand to include partner in the final decision? Should the opponents go on to 5 hearts?
No. What else do you want to bid? He certainly isn't worth making a slam try, and if he bids something else, presumably that shows slam interest. I think he did fine.
No, I hear you. I wondered, would all these bids be slam tries? I guess they would. Yeah, I think I would agree. Yeah. So he was forced into a corner where he had to do something over 5 hearts.
Well, he can make a forcing pass if pass is forcing here. I don't think it would be in their style, however. You and Marty would, of course, know whether a pass is forcing or not, right?
Well, yes, the pass would not be forcing. Yeah. We're going to need a lot more work on that, but I think this one I know that the pass would not be forcing on this.
And just for everybody in the room who doesn't understand why pass would or wouldn't be forcing, in some cases, you know that the opponents have bid just to go for a number against your game, a sacrifice. And in some of the cases, you know that one of 2 outcomes is going to happen. You're either going to defend doubled, or you're going to bid on. And so in those cases, pass doesn't say we might pass them out. It's actually, most people play that it encourages partner to bid on, when double would actually slow partner down, say I'm not interested in bidding on. And that's only in a situation where your partnership is committed to either defending them doubled or bidding on.
This was a somewhat light two-club opener, and they may have difficulty stopping in time after that start. We shall see.
If they can effectively ask for aces at some point in the auction, they should be okay.
As long as they don't play in hearts.
Well, even hearts is okay with the Jack-10 double and the hearts dropping, but if it goes heart to 10 king, Steve should duck, and now declare would probably misguess playing 11 for ace-10 doubleton.
At the other table, interestingly, the Lou and Chip are playing in 5 hearts and got a club lead. So now it's even trickier because South can win the ace of hearts and give his. Oh no, sorry, I'm a little confused. He got a club lead, and now he's in his hand from the East hand at trick 2. So I don't know exactly how he's going to play the hearts, but he could get it right by luck. In fact, they played 5 hearts, and it went a heart to the king. He crossed to the dummy, led a heart to the king, which South did duck. And now Declare was defeated.
Which side was it played from, the east or west side? Do you know, Mike?
It was played by East, I believe. Yes, it was played by East.
I was wondering if he might try to steal a diamond trick at trick 2.
Right. He could have done that, but he did not go for that. It was played by East, and he did go down. He did make the simple play, won the club lead, crossed to the dummy in spades, and led a heart to the king, which was ducked. It's really quite a tough bidding problem. The object to play in no trump, diamonds, or spades, but not hearts.
I think Hurd really in this spot can see that he's probably it's going to be a not so great game, slam. His partner probably would have had a slam drive had slam been very good. I think once West has gone a little low by bidding 2 spades and then 3 hearts and then 4 hearts, I don't think that East is going to bid on. I would be surprised if he bid, but he may. But
Yes, I think you're probably right. I mean, even king 5th of spades and ace queen 5th of hearts, he probably would have driven to slam, and that's not a laydown slam anyway. Well, this is a curious preference. I don't understand it, really, do you?
Maybe the auction means something other than we think.
Well, there were no, at least, open alerts, so I don't know what to think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, I wonder, will West go one more? Now it's actually okay, because if they're going to play in spades, everything will be fine.
Well, that's not even 100% clear because on a club lead, we're a little short of entries to the two club opening hand, amazingly enough.
That's true. That's pretty funny when that kind of thing happens. But he may end up being forced to make it on some lines of play.
No, actually, he will make it. He say he gets a club lead, he wins, draws trumps, and leaves a diamond. And now, if North ducks, he loses the diamond trick, and if North doesn't duck, the diamonds are good.
True.
So while we wait on this slow deal, Michael, can you have any insight onto the choice of charity about Oxfam and what compelled your team to choose that as your charity of choice?
I wish I did, but to be honest with you, I was not part of the conversation on the choice of charity, so I'm not exactly sure uh, why that was chosen. Or to be completely blunt, I'm not even exactly sure who chose it. But it surely seems like a good charity, and uh, it unfortunately it looks like the way things are going here, it's going to be, well, unfortunately, it will benefit the junior bridge for sure.
Right, I do know that it's a very fitting charity for USA 2 to be playing for. Is the USBF Junior Fund. As over the last 15 years, these guys have been going to international competitions, being paid for by the USBF and the USBF Junior Fund. They've gotten to go. Joel started to go to World Championships all the way back in '95 or so. He went to Bali and in '97 to Hamilton and '99 to Fort Lauderdale. Although those two weren't very elaborate, expensive trips, but they and on to Brazil, and these guys have gone to Australia and Thailand, all on the USBF Junior Fund. So I think it's really great of them to be playing for the US Junior Fund, because a lot of their success now is really due to the US Junior program.
Yes, and it really is great, and you're right, it's quite an appropriate charity for them, as we're looking at one of the younger teams ever to do this.
It's been talked about a lot, but these kids, they have a big history together. I grew up with them, and they played together on the U.S. junior team for a decade. And not only that, but it's been well documented in the ACBL Bulletin and also on our site on BridgeWinners, they've all, at some point, other than Captain Dan Zagoran, lived at a brownstone in a townhouse in Manhattan, New York, as they've all been playing pro bridge, I'm sure, as opponents of yours, Michael, a lot, and even, I know, actually teammates with you. But they've lived in the same house together, and currently Hurd and Wooldridge, east-west here, still do live in the same house together. So they share a lot more than just a birth to the Bermuda Bowl together.
For sure, they're all seem to be very good friends. Yes, I've played on many teams with them, especially with Joe Grew and John Hurd, and they're great guys and great players. And I can't say enough about how good they are. I wish they weren't beating up on us here, but c'est la vie. I would ask that Joel bid sometime before tomorrow comes.
So I want to take a little time to talk about our website, BridgeWinners, because we worked with BridgeBase to make this event. I was talking to Uday. I spoke about this in the first set, and we were talking about how to create something online that would be of interest to bridge players. And while we were talking, this was just after the U.S. trials, and the juniors had just won. And I think there was a buzz around the bridge world at the time, and still is, that there's young kids who are really showing that they're at the top of the game. It started in Louisville when Joe Grew had made the finals of the Vanderbilt, and Joel Woodridge had such a great tournament. And Joel and Johnny won the platinum pairs. There's really a lot of buzz about young youth bridge, and Steve's comment in chat is quite funny. So anyway, we wanted to make an event that would be all played online, that would be interesting to kibitzers, and so we had the idea, hey, I think everybody in the bridge world would love to see USA 1 play against USA 2. The kids are fun to watch and fun to, be a part of. Fun to enjoy them playing against good competition. So we said, hey, let's ask, and sure enough, all the players were keen, and I'm really so grateful that everybody was available and ready to have this match, because I think that everybody watching has really had enjoyed watching a match that we would just never have gotten to see without BridgeBase.
So for the third time this match, Levener Weinstein underleads the Ace of Diamonds against a suit contract. They seem to have a thing about that Ace of Diamonds.
I think it's in their notes. They lead low from 3 to any holding. Just kidding, of course. Well, a good stop by John and Joel here, and that will win them another 12 imps, putting them ahead in the 30s once again, with only a short time left to go. $13 imps, I should have said.
This is not a classic week 2 heart bid, holding 4 spades on the side, but still looks like the right sort of texture for it.
Would you bid with John Hurd's hand here? Chip at the other table did not bid over 4 hearts. Nor did John.
No, I don't think so. I think it's way too many ways to lose, and the hand really just doesn't have that much playing strength.
I would agree with you, and I'm one of the more conservative guys I know. Unfortunately, on this hand, it would have been a much better to have bid.
From his perspective, though, when it goes 2 hearts, 4 hearts, he really needs his partner to have an opening bid to have a chance to make 5 clubs. And if partner has an opening bid, then surely 4 hearts was based on distribution. And if 4 hearts was based on distribution, then partner was probably short enough in hearts to have something a way to act. So I don't think that with not a lot of prospect of actually making 5 clubs, it doesn't seem like the right bid. And just look at what happened. I mean, if they caught a singleton opposite the doubleton, and things were laying well. But I think that expecting a chance to beat 4 hearts with the ace queen of clubs offside over the strong hand, and perhaps the singleton ace of hearts, meaning that you might have a couple tricks. I think that pass is definitely the right action.
I agree with you, and this just goes to show. That preempts work on some hands.
Note that if he had, say, ace third of hearts and a singleton in either spades or diamonds, that would make bidding 5 clubs much more attractive, because now he could expect his partner to be short in hearts and have, worthwhile roughing value rather than nothing special.
For sure. Steve claims, and we're on to the next board. 5 boards to go in the match, and down 30 here. Pardon me, 30, I think 36 is the total.
Not likely to make any headway on this board.
No, considering North-South did very well and played 4 hearts, making 4. It's agreed. We're not likely to make any headway here. Interesting problem for Steve. What's a bid? And which he solved quite well.
Well, I don't really see what else he can bid but 4 hearts. Do you?
No, I agree with you, but it could be, it could be lousy, but what can you do? Yes.
Maybe another underlead of an ace.
Actually, that would not be an unreasonable shot on the West hand, I don't think.
Low club from Jack 10-8. It's much more normal to lead the Jack. I'm surprised at the 8. I wonder what I'm sure we could piece together what he's thinking about when he decided to lead it.
Well, he probably thinks if there, for instance, king queen of clubs in the dummy or something, maybe he's thinking like that, and declare will never. Well, I don't know why that would help, because it would work out just as well later for him. Maybe he just wanted to do something tricky like everybody else under leading their diamond aces.
No, suppose there's king queen 9 of clubs in dummy and partner has the ace. And leading the 8 works. Actually, I think it's a pretty well thought out lead, because I can't think of any layouts where leading the 8 costs.
Well, surely when declarer's got king 9 third and dummy's got Jack 10. Dummy's got the queen and partner's got the ace. Anytime the honor 9 is on your right and honor is on your left.
Right, but agreed, Gavin. But I guess on this hand, the likelihood of your partner actually, well, I guess if we're worried about a partner having the ace of clubs, then it could be any of these things, right? So it is a little bit risky.
How how does leading the jack gain if that's the case? Am I missing something?
Maybe he
If
shouldn't lead clubs
if
at all.
dummy if South has king 9 third of clubs and North has queen 4th and partner's got ace 3rd, they're gonna play low and you're gonna lose a trick, right?
And now the suit's just frozen, right? If you lead the jack.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would be frozen. But you wouldn't have given away the trick, is Gavin's point.
I guess there's also the situation where if dummy hits with queen 9 4th and declares got the ace, they might fly queen instead of on the 8, and you're not giving away a trick. That's another time when leading low gains.
Or dummy has ace queen 9 4th and inserts the queen as would be a normal thing to do. I'm sort of being persuaded that it's a reasonable lead. Although I think I'd lead a low spade anyway. But if you're going to lead a club, I think a low may well be right. Meanwhile, Declare is trying to figure out what's going on in the club suit, because he doesn't expect a low lead from that.
Well, he sort of knows the distribution here in a general sense. He may actually be fooled into thinking there are 3 hearts on his left, but that doesn't hurt him at all. It's very likely the diamonds on his left, he knows there's 4 diamonds on his left, and likely, although not 100%, 4 spades. And so I don't think he can do anything wrong here.
Well, no, he can't do much wrong. I mean, he's basically going to play heart to the ace, heart to the king, club to the queen, and shove a spade up. And unless the hearts are 4-1, which seems pretty unlikely, that's enough tricks for him.
Agreed.
I think Steve was actually convinced now that West was balanced, and he either had 4 hearts or not. That East couldn't have 4 hearts probably at this stage of the hand. So he played a spade up, conceding the ruff, knowing that he was going to probably be able to figure out that West had the doubleton heart.
But if West were following small in the next round of hearts...
Right, he may have a bad moment here, but it's all going to work out.
Wouldn't he be a little nervous?
I'd be willing to guess that Steve was confident that West had a Doubleton heart, that he was 4-4 in diamonds and spades, and that if East took a rough in clubs, that was enough. I'm so sure that he was going to play a heart to the king, or he knew the Queen of Hearts was onside.
I'm sure you're right, and maybe as a technical matter, he could have afforded to play a second heart there, because he still had the high club re-entry to his hand later to lead a spade up, but either way was okay for making 4.
I bet he was worried about Hearts 4-1.
Right. He wanted to, just get the ace of spades out of there so opponents couldn't get both the Queen of Hearts and a spade ruff. And a club ruff.
I think you're right. Well, it looks like North-South have gotten to a better contract here than in the other room. Just the vagaries of standard versus a strong club here, I believe. I believe in the other room, the opening, it was a diamond, and North then had to or did respond 1-no trump, and they played there, which was not as good a contract, of course, as clubs was. Now, what to bid with the North hand here depends on what you play as forcing and what you play as constructive, etc.
They play transfer
if
advantage.
2 hearts were forcing, which most people do not play.
Hearts and take it from there.
This is I see, and that's of course transfer advances solve a lot of the problems. South may even, well, it depends what, it's interesting what John will bid here. A simple 3 clubs or more?
Oh, apparently 3 clubs is relatively strong as they play.
In the other room on a yes, it'll be interesting to see whether they save in 5 clubs and whether the North-South continues to 5 hearts, which they did correctly or winningly in the other room. East-West let it go here, so this will be a push, no doubt.
One thing to say, these equal vulnerability, when everybody's non-vol, it's very dangerous to sacrifice at the 5 level. Your math is very low. I mean, on this hand, it looks like it would have been not so great anyway. They would lose a couple red cards and the ace of spades and the spade ruff. I guess they're only down 2 for 300, which is only 3 imps against 420 or 4 imps against 450. But the downside of sacrificing when your opponents were going down is just so big. So as a general rule, if you never sacrifice at the 5 level when at equal vulnerability, you're going to be much better off than if you do it too much.
And keep in mind, it's North's 9 of diamonds, which is needed to make 5 hearts, and you can't really know about that during the bidding.
So just to talk about the advantage of North-South's methods over one spade, by playing transfers are becoming an extremely popular method in so many different situations. What we noticed with the invention of Jacoby transfers was that over one no trump, we could transfer to hearts, and we could use the same bid to show a weak hand with hearts, or an invitational hand with hearts, or a strong hand with hearts, because you'll have a second chance to bid after partner completes the transfer. And so that similar concept works so well in other situations. So here in this particular spot, Levin and Weinstein play transfer advances opposite overcalls. So this way, Levin could bid hearts with a much weaker hand than he had, maybe just a good heart suit, or he could do it with a strong hand that's planning on bidding again. When you overcall aggressively, the problem is you need to be able to soften two hearts. You can't play one spade past two hearts as forcing, because when you're overcalling 6-point hands, you're going to need to bid your heart suits, and you're going to get too high all the time if all your bids are forcing. So, but by playing transfers here, they get the opportunity to do both, stop in two hearts, and not have to worry about partner passing you when you have a very strong hand.
Now, the disadvantage of playing transfer advances here is that, let's suppose he has support for partner's suit and wants to make a Q bid. Now he has to bid two hearts, which would be a Q bid for spades, which doesn't give his partner room to maneuver, but that's a relatively small disadvantage compared to the advantages.
Now, in this particular spot we're looking at right now, a lot of pairs play transfer advances after a heart by South double by the overcaller, and they would play one no trump showed clubs. But Levin and Weinstein feel that bidding one no trump is so natural, is so important, that they don't like to play these methods. And as you see, on the one time it came up the whole match, he had a natural one no trump bid. So maybe it's a small sample, but I know that they both swear by their one no trump bids.
Speaking of the takeout doubles,
and now it's interesting to see whether Steve and Bobby, I think they play good-bad. Yeah, they play good-bad, so he could bid 2-no to show a bad 3-level bid and arrive at their fit in clubs.
Kit, I don't know. What do you think about West's takeout double? It's a very awkward shape. You don't have 4 spades. You don't have support for clubs. I think he was worried that he was just his hand didn't suit one no trump. To me, it seems like a normal one no trump overcall. I like to make off shake takeout doubles, but this one I would just overcall one no trump when partner's not a pass hand.
It seems normal to me to bid one no trump also. Like,
well, I certainly wouldn't double. Well, you could bid one no trump, or you could. I know it's not something people like to hear. It is possible to pass.
I think that you're ace jack 10 of diamonds, and you're I think you're well within the range of one no trump. I don't see the advantage to passing on this hand. You're not going to. The problem with passing is it's never going to get easier to bid with your hand. If it goes a heart pass, a no trump pass 2 diamonds, or to pass 2 clubs, or pass 2 hearts, your hand doesn't get better for making a takeout double later, and it's just too hard. I think passing is worse than double, in my opinion.
Note that Hurd
hear you.
competes to 3 spades, expecting maybe
that's what I usually get.
Partner's hand.
But it's sort of actually surprising he competed, isn't it? I mean, it feels like on the auction, partner doesn't have 4 spades. Am I wrong?
Well, partner's known to have 4 hearts, if you think about it, because the opponents chose to play in clubs rather than their 8-card heart fit, so they don't have an 8-card heart fit.
That's a very good point. So I don't know what he should have done. I mean, it turned out it wasn't so bad what he did, but I mean, it's conceivable he could have hit his partner, I guess, with 3 clubs and a 4-3-3 hand or something. I don't know.
I'm just curious. Why can't South have 6 hearts and 4 clubs? Is it? Am I missing? Why South? What would South do if they had 6 hearts and 4 clubs?
He can't.
I would. I don't know. I'd be surprised if he would bid that way with 6 hearts and 4 clubs.
But what other choice does he have if he's got a mediocre heart suit?
Well, how
Well, I
about
mean, I'd
getting the
rather play
hearts?
partner for a couple of hearts and get myself to 3 hearts. Partner did bother to bid a no trump and probably doesn't have a singleton heart doing that. I mean, it's possible he does, but I don't know their methods exactly. But even just as a bridge bid, he won't often be bidding a no trump with a singleton heart.
Right, because he'd much rather be defending the hand if he's got about 9 points and a stiff heart.
Right, that's what I would think. Yes. I don't believe declarer can make this if the defense is careful, because if he doesn't play ace and a trump, South is going to get a ruff for the 5th defensive trick, and if he does play ace and a trump, in theory, he'll never be able to ruff his club in the dummy.
So play is completed in the other room, and it looks like there's no chance for USA 1 to mount a comeback. The North-South have planted 980. I guess there wasn't really much chance anyhow, but it was a very good match overall.
Yes, the opponents played very well. It was a good match.
So I'd like to take a chance to ask, I mean, we definitely put a bunch of effort into this at our site at BridgeWinners, and I'd really appreciate it if everybody would take the time to check out our site and you know, make an account. It's free, and join in the conversation. We're trying to make a community of bridge players. We're getting, we have articles every day, and really the best part about our site is conversations that stem from the articles. Both of the two guys who are here speaking with me, Michael and Kit, write quite often. Kit writes an article every week for us, and Michael occasionally, and they're just really high quality content. And the best part is all the people who comment on all the articles, and we could always use more insight, no matter what level you are, no matter how easy the question is that you have for the article. Just throw a comment out there, get involved, and also anybody who wants to try their hand at blogging about bridge and writing, we feature blog posts by any level, about once a week, and we really would love more members to our community. So please check it out. I really appreciate it, and I definitely want to say thank you to all the players and to BridgeBase for letting us do this. And Kit, thank you for commentating all day and suffering through the early stages of dealing with learning how to use it. And Michael, thank you for playing and commentating. Really, again, appreciate it very much.
Well, thanks, Gavin. It was a pleasure to play and to commentate. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for hosting all of this. It was really terrific for everyone.
And lastly, these guys all put their effort in today playing, and it's for charity. And USA 2 picked the USDF Junior Fund, and we'd really appreciate it if you could take the time and put a little donation in. We have the link on our website, and make this day even more worthwhile for the charities that these guys are putting their time in for. So this last hand, these guys bid a slam that it's a great slam. 7 is in the game. You need to just pick up the queen of trumps to make 7.
Actually, it was quite an interesting auction at the other table. 3 hearts north bid 3 no trump. That was Joe. And I don't know what their methods were, but I presume South showed spades and then Q bid, or it's possible he showed spades and then shortness. He bid 4 diamonds, North bid 4 spades, and he now bid 5 hearts. So I'm not exactly sure what the auction meant, but it is interesting what to play here over 3 hearts, 3 no by North.
What do we think of 11's choice of a takeout double here?
I think his plan is to bid over 3 spades to bid 3 no trump. I don't think that he was. I think that if he had the same hand with stiff ace of spades and 3 hearts, I think we'd be more likely to have seen a 3 no trump overcall.
And his plan over 4 diamonds was to what? Throw up?
Who knows?
Well, this will be interesting. If they get to 7, that one has to guess the spade, which I'm not sure that they will after the 3 heart opening. If they play in clubs, however, it's a bigger possibility because West will show out on the second round of trumps. So now you have to play him for 2 singletons for the spade finesse to be correct.
Or 1-1 or 7-3-2-1, and either one looks about equally likely as far as I can tell. Anyway, it didn't happen.
Agreed. It won't matter at this point. So all handled very wisely by everyone.
Okay, and one more thing. I did manage to get the last 2 sets recorded. I had some technical difficulties in the first set, but we'll be posting video recordings of the second and third sets on our site a little later, and you can, for those of you who might enjoy the broadcast, we'll love it if you'd share it with them. And also, please, and comment about the boards. Any interesting thoughts? I know lots of spectators had questions about some of the boards, and I bet you'll find that a lot of the players will be happy to take the time to answer.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, thanks again.
Match,
I'm going to sign off now. It was a pleasure. Yes. Thank you, Gavin. Thanks to all. I hope everyone enjoyed it.